Okay, Alex, I have to start today's episode with something a little strange, a little funny, and honestly, something that almost made me question if I was losing my mind. You know that moment when you arrive in a new country, you look around, and you think, why is everyone doing that? Well, I had one of those moments recently, and it inspired this whole episode. But before we jump in, if you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to like the video and subscribe because it really helps us grow and bring more episodes like this. And also, we made a PDF with all the vocabulary from today's episode so you can download it and study after listening. Anyway, let me tell you what happened.
Oh no, this is gonna be good. Anytime you start with, I questioned if I was losing my mind, I know something wild is coming. All right, tell me, what was this big moment of culture shock? Because we've all had them. And honestly, the fun part is that later these habits make sense. But at the beginning, zero sense, negative sense.
Exactly. So I was in Japan and I remember getting on the train for the first time. I'm holding my little bag, trying to look calm, trying to blend in like a normal human being, and then suddenly, absolute silence, like complete silence. No one talking, no one on the phone, no one even whispering. And I'm standing there thinking, did someone press the mute button on the world? And here's the thing, I didn't know what to do with that silence. I was scared even to breathe loudly. But later, when someone explained that the train is considered a quiet, shared space, it made perfect sense. Beautiful sense, actually.
Oh, that's such a perfect example. I had the same experience in Finland. People there have this amazing respect for personal space. At first, it felt like everyone was avoiding me. I was like, do I smell weird? Did I do something? But then I learned that giving people space isn't coldness, it's respect. And now I love it. Sometimes I wish every country did that. It's a cultural habit that confuses you until one day it becomes the thing you appreciate the most.
This is why I love talking about cultural habits. They feel strange at the beginning, but they teach you something powerful. And I think listeners who study English can learn a lot from these stories, not just about language, but about life. Actually, this reminds me of an expression, go with the flow. It means to relax and follow what is happening around you. And when you travel or live in a new country, going with the flow is one of the most useful skills you can ever have.
Absolutely. And here's another one. When in Rome, do as the Romans do. It simply means that when you are in a new place, try to follow the local way of doing things. I used to hear this expression and think it was just a cute sentence, but when you experience real culture shock, suddenly the advice feels like gold. For example, when I moved to Mexico, I kept arriving on time for everything. I didn't understand why everyone else was showing up a little late. And I remember a friend telling me, relax, it's normal, we take our time. At first, I thought it was chaos. Later, I realized it's just their rhythm of life, warm, calm, human.
Oh, yes. The rhythm of life changes from place to place. And sometimes the thing that shocked you becomes the thing you miss the most later. When I came back from Japan, I remember getting on a train in my home country and thinking, whoa, why is everyone so loud? Suddenly, the silence I feared became something I loved. This is what I always tell learners. Culture teaches you flexibility, and flexibility is a superpower, not just in life, but in language learning too.
That's true. Actually, let me tell you a story that shaped how I think about cultural habits. When I was in Turkey, something beautiful happened. I was walking in a small town and I asked a man for directions. Not only did he explain where to go, he actually walked with me for 10 minutes to make sure I didn't get lost. At first, I was confused. I kept thinking, why is he walking with me? Is this normal? But then I understood. It was hospitality. It was kindness. It was a cultural habit that made me feel welcome. And now I tell everyone about that moment because it changed me.
I love that story, and honestly, Turkish hospitality is next level. It shows how cultural habits can surprise you in the best way. You think something is strange, but later you realize it comes from a place of love. This reminds me of another useful expression. It grows on you. It means something feels strange or difficult at the start, but over time you begin to like it. Many cultural habits are exactly like that. They grow on you day by day.
That expression fits perfectly. Another cultural habit that grew on me was removing shoes inside the house. I didn't grow up with that, so the first time someone asked me to take my shoes off, I panicked. I thought, oh no, are my socks okay? Do I have holes? But later, I love the feeling. The house feels cleaner, softer, calmer. Now I do it everywhere. If someone enters my house with shoes on, my brain screams a little.
Same. And you know what's funny? When we learn these habits and bring them home, people sometimes think we're the strange ones. And that's when you know you've really accepted a new culture. When you become the one asking questions like, hey, can you please lower your voice on the train? It's a sign of growth. And here's one more expression our listeners might like: a fish out of water. It means you feel uncomfortable or out of place, and every traveler feels like that sometimes. But the magic happens when you stop feeling like a fish out of water and start feeling connected.
That's the transformation. And honestly, cultural habits teach you humility. That's the motivational part. You learn you're not the center of the world. You learn that there are thousands of ways to live, not just your way. And that opens your mind. I remember in South Korea, people bow when they greet each other. The first time someone bowed to me, I panicked and bent forward too fast. It looked like I was diving. But later, I learned a meaning behind it: respect, politeness, warmth. Now I love it.
You're right. Cultural habits show you new ways to show respect, and they show you new ways to connect with people. But I think the most important thing they teach is patience. When something doesn't make sense, don't reject it. Try to understand it. Because later, you might discover something beautiful behind it. Like in Italy, where meals are long, slow, full of conversation. At first I thought, why is everything taking so long? Later I realized those long meals create memories. They bring families closer. They give life a softer speed.
Yes, and that soft speed is something many people need today. We're always rushing, but cultures remind us that life doesn't have to be a race. And for English learners, I think this is important too. Learning a language is like learning a cultural habit. At first, it feels strange. You feel shy. You feel like you're doing something wrong. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. It grows on you, just like those cultural moments we've been talking about.
Exactly. And here's something many learners don't realize. When you understand cultural habits, your language becomes more alive. You understand jokes, stories, emotions. You feel the language, not just study it. And feeling the language is what makes you speak confidently. I think many listeners will relate to that moment when they finally understand why native speakers say things a certain way. It's like a cultural habit inside the language itself.
So true. And honestly, I think that's the message of today's episode. The things that confuse you today might become the things you love tomorrow. The world makes more sense when we give it time. And every culture, even if it feels strange, has something beautiful inside. Something that teaches us patience, kindness, understanding.
And if you're listening right now and you feel like a fish out of water in English or in a new country, don't worry. It's normal. It's part of the journey. Just go with the flow, stay curious, and let the habits grow on you. You're learning more than you think, and you're becoming stronger than you realize.
Well said. And to everyone listening, remember, you're not just learning a language, you're learning the world. And the world is full of strange, beautiful, confusing, wonderful habits that make us human.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for spending time with us. And don't forget to check the PDF vocabulary list we prepared for you. And of course, like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. We appreciate you so much.
Until next time, stay curious, stay open, and keep exploring the habits that don't make sense until they do.